The judge looked at me across the courtroom. Based on Dr. Hartwell's testimony and mandatory abuse report, I'm modifying custody. Emma will reside primarily with her mother. You'll have supervised visitation only, twice monthly. Twice monthly, with my own daughter, supervised, because her therapist said I was abusing her. Let me back up. I'm Daniel. I'm 38, software engineer, divorced 2 years ago. My ex-wife Rachel and I share custody of our daughter Emma. She's 9. The divorce was messy, but we'd settled into a routine. Emma spent weekdays with Rachel, weekends with me. It was working. Then Rachel filed for full custody, said Emma was struggling with the shared arrangement, needed stability, wanted to live with her full-time. I fought it. We went to custody mediation, then court. Rachel's lawyer suggested Emma see a therapist to help process the divorce and custody situation. I agreed. Good idea. We found Dr. Linda Hartwell, child psychologist, 20 years experience, excellent credentials. Emma started seeing her weekly. Dr. Hartwell seemed professional, asked both Rachel and me to attend initial sessions to provide background. She said Emma was adjusting well, processing emotions healthily. 6 months into therapy, the custody hearing was scheduled. 2 weeks before the hearing, I got a document in discovery. Mandatory abuse report, filed by Dr. Hartwell against me. The report said I was engaging in parental alienation, making negative comments about Rachel to Emma, undermining her relationship with her mother, causing psychological harm. I read it 3 times. None of it was true. I never spoke negatively about Rachel in front of Emma. I encouraged their relationship. My lawyer said we'd contest it at the hearing, but mandatory reports carry weight, especially from licensed psychologists. Dr. Hartwell testified at the custody hearing, said Emma had disclosed in therapy that I constantly criticized her mother, that I told Emma her mother didn't love her, that I was creating anxiety and confusion. Emissions exhibit signs of parental alienation syndrome, Dr. Hartwell said. She's being psychologically manipulated by her father. I sat there stunned. None of that happened. My lawyer cross-examined. Did Emma specifically say these words? Hartwell, smooth evasion. Children don't always articulate clearly, but the emotional indicators were present. Did you record the sessions? No, recording would inhibit trust building. Did you document these specific statements contemporaneously? My clinical notes reflect the substance of our discussions. Heavy, final gavel bang in voice. The judge ruled against me. Emma would live with Rachel full-time. I got supervised visitation. Twice a month, 2 hours each. Supervision required because of the abuse allegations. I was devastated, but worse was seeing Emma. Our first supervised visit was at a family services center. Social worker present the entire time. Emma was confused. "Why can't I come home with you, Daddy?" "The court says I need to visit you here for now." "But why?" Internal monologue. Trapped. I couldn't explain it without criticizing the therapist, which would be, what, more alienation? She cried when the visit ended. Over the next 3 months, Emma's behavior changed. Rachel reported she was having nightmares, anxiety, school problems. Dr. Hartwell recommended increasing therapy to twice weekly. Emma needs intensive support during this transition, she said. Rachel agreed. The court approved. More therapy, more bills. Emma getting worse, not better. I couldn't help. I saw her 4 hours a month. I hired a private investigator. Not to investigate Dr. Hartwell initially, to gather evidence for my appeal, but I asked him to look into everything, including the therapist. He came back 3 weeks later with something interesting. Dr. Hartwell has been involved in 12 custody cases in the last 4 years, he said. And in 11 of them, she filed mandatory abuse reports against one parent, always the parent who wasn't paying her directly. I processed that. What do you mean? In custody battles, usually one parent hires the therapist initially. That parent pays the bills. Dr. Hartwell consistently files reports against the non-paying parent. That couldn't be coincidence. Rachel hired her, I said. Right, and Dr. Hartwell filed against you. My investigator dug deeper, found 8 families willing to talk. All had similar stories. Therapist hired by one parent, reports filed against the other. Custody modified. Therapy increased. Bills increased. One father lost all custody, only saw his kids at a supervised center. One mother lost custody of 3 children, based entirely on Dr. Hartwell's testimony about emotional abuse. In every case, the therapist recommended intensive ongoing therapy. Sessions doubled or tripled. Revenue increased. It was a pattern. She was weaponizing mandatory reporting to generate business. My investigator compiled everything: testimony transcripts, court records, financial records showing therapy billing increases. I took it to a medical malpractice lawyer. She reviewed everything. "This is malpractice," she said. "Potentially fraud, definitely unethical." We filed complaints with the state psychology board, and I filed a motion to reopen my custody case. New evidence of therapist bias and professional misconduct. The board opened an investigation, interviewed the 8 families, reviewed Dr. Hartwell's files. What they found was damning. Her therapy notes were vague, no specific quotes from children, lots of interpretations, lots of emotional indicators and clinical observations, nothing concrete, nothing you could actually verify. The board brought in an expert, reviewed her methodology. Leading questions, suggestive techniques, confirmation bias. She's essentially coaching children to provide statements that support predetermined conclusions. In custody cases, she was manufacturing evidence. The board revoked her license permanently. 8 counts of professional misconduct. 3 counts of fraudulent reporting. She can never practice psychology again. My custody case was reopened. New judge, new evaluation, independent therapist. The new therapist interviewed Emma. She doesn't exhibit signs of parental alienation, the therapist reported. She has a healthy attachment to both parents. The previous therapist's conclusions were unsupported. Emma confirmed she never said those things Dr. Hartwell claimed. She kept asking weird questions, Emma told the new therapist, like, "Does Daddy ever say mean things about Mommy?" I said no, but she kept asking different ways. It felt like she wanted me to say yes. Leading questions. The judge restored shared custody. Emma came home. That was 18 months ago. Emma's doing well now. No more anxiety, no more nightmares. She sees a therapist occasionally, different one, ethical one, who doesn't manipulate children for profit. Dr. Hartwell lost her license, lost her practice, lost her livelihood. But the damage to those 8 families is permanent. Some lost years with their children, years they can't get back. One father's children are now teenagers. By the time custody was corrected, they'd been alienated for real. She was sued by multiple families, settled most cases, but money doesn't return lost time with your children. I think about how close I came to losing Emma permanently. If I hadn't hired that investigator, if those other families hadn't been willing to come forward, if the board hadn't taken it seriously, Emma would still think therapy was normal, still think seeing her dad 4 hours a month was normal, and Dr. Hartwell would still be destroying families. So here's my question. Should therapists face criminal charges for false mandatory reports? Should there be independent oversight of custody evaluations? How do we protect families from professionals who weaponize their credentials? Because Dr. Hartwell nearly succeeded. She had credentials, experience, authority, and she used all of it to manufacture abuse allegations for profit. Leave a comment, share your experiences. If you're fighting false allegations in custody battles, document everything. Get independent evaluations. Don't assume credentials mean honesty. Thank you for watching. If this story makes you think about accountability in family court, share it. Stay vigilant, question authority, and remember that professional licenses don't guarantee integrity. Because Dr. Hartwell had every credential, and she destroyed 8 families. Almost 9.